So I've been writing down a lot of different things and reading a lot of different papers, and basically I just want to show you what I've been doing. So there's this ferocious, beautiful thing that I like to call emotions, and we all experience them. They could be intense, overwhelming, and sometimes a little bland. So whenever I have a hard time identifying my emotions, and sometimes I do, I have what's called this feelings log, actually. Or it's an emotion regulation device to identify whatever it is that I'm feeling. I have it on my binder, actually. So basically, feelings. These are feelings. There's ashamed, mad, afraid, sad, and glad, which is just the general basis of them. And then we have all the others that come with it. That helps identify whatever mood I'm feeling. So once I identify it, let's say that I am angry, which I get a lot of. I get angry, so then what do? That's called a primary emotion. And then we also have what's called secondary emotions. And the secondary emotion is how we feel about the primary emotion. So I've been doing a little inventory on my thought process lately, and so to give you a good synopsis of what an emotion is, some people just don't really know. The actual definition are pretty much just signals in the body that tell you what's happening. It's like an instant news service that gives you updates about what's going on, what you're experiencing, what you're feeling. So once we figure that out, now that we know what emotions are, the key here I'd like to discuss is to identify what the primary emotion is, so you can prevent a destructive secondary emotion. So I got what I call this right here, basic emotion regulation skills. And once I break that down into simpler terms, it comes to identifying basically what emotions are. Emotions are extremely complicated, and not everyone knows how to control them. Not really many people actually can control them. Basically, in this video, I'm just giving a good idea of what I do. This right here is a drawing of pretty butterflies. Anyways, let's crack open my big book here, and I'll give you something you can do when you get overwhelmed with emotion. So, let me just pull out the first page. Look, oh my gosh, here's some skills. How about distracting yourself by paying attention to someone else, or something else that says someone else. Distract your thoughts. That's the first step. We're not going to go any further than that. Basically, do something for someone else. That could help you. Take your attention off yourself. That always helps. Think of someone you care about. All those are very, very helpful. And trying to distract yourself from the overwhelming emotion that you're feeling. So that's what I've been doing tonight. Basically, figuring out how to regulate emotion. It's a very high mountain to climb and a difficult obstacle to overcome. But I have my little journal, my no hate sticker. I love that. And now that I'm done buzzing around in my little caffeine buzz, let's share something from my little book of knowledge. This right here is a spiritual toolkit. And this is what I do in my spiritual toolkit. Basically, whenever I feel an emotion, I write it down in what I call a thought log. And I've already made a video about this. But my most recent entry, I got upset the other day, and then my automatic thought was to get angry and hostile. But then once I thought about it, and then instead decided that the initial reaction that I was about to have was going to start a long string of events, very unpleasant events that I did not want to experience. So I analyzed my thought pattern. What is it that you do when you have unpleasant emotions come up, or unidentifiable or extremely confusing as hell thought pattern? You analyze your thought pattern and decide that you want to change it. If it's unpleasant, you decide you want to change it. And if you come to think of it, it saves a whole lot of time too, because like if you just sit there stuck in anger and you just decide to make a stupid assumption or say something that you would regret, it starts a whole string of events, and then you start fighting, and then whoever it is that you're talking to, you end up fighting with that person for hours, or it just depends on how you decide to handle it. And a lot of the problems come from within, and you could probably just create, or you're probably just creating the problems, and it's not always as bad as you think. So you can take a step back, or do what I do, go meditate in the sun or in a quiet room by yourself, and rethink the thought pattern and realize the thoughts you're thinking are probably not the best thoughts to have. So I'm actually a little overwhelmed at this time anyways, and so I think I'm just going to stop there. I've discussed the basics of emotion regulation, and I think next we're going to talk about some more advanced emotion regulation skills, because I have a whole lot more to discuss. I just did the tip of the iceberg. Next we'll do recognizing your emotions. So that's my little mini vid for now, my little mini advice, little snippet of information, and I will come back another time and give you some more.